The very first email we got, and I was really shocked, like this is true peer results from it. And mind you, our average ticket price is 500. The very first email that we got from our ListKit campaign, I hit refresh on the screen and the guy said, "Hey, I just ordered an inspection." And I went and looked it up and it was a $1,300 inspection. They had ordered almost every single service that we offer.
What's going on, guys? Andre Hako Jr. here from ListKit, back with another client spotlight interview here with Josh from Elite Group Property Inspections. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely, man. So tell us a little bit more about your business and what got you interested or started with cold email as a way to generate leads.
So our business, we've actually been in business for 40 years, and
Oh, wow.
two entrepreneurial driven individuals got together and they wanted to build the largest home inspection company in the nation. And 40 years later, they've done that. We have over 100 employees. We're doing north of 10 million in revenue every single year. And we remember back in the good old days when you didn't have to jump through all these hoops with Google and Outlook and Yahoo, and you could just get right into everybody's inbox.
Yeah.
So we're not new to the mass email marketing scene. That was one of our primary channels back in the day. We had 300,000-400,000 emails and we were sending out almost 1 million emails a month. Wow. And as things started cracking down, that kind of all went away. And so over the last few years, we've been challenged. We've been trying to do it. And it's just been such a heavy lift jumping through all the hoops and making sure that we're getting to the inbox. So when we heard the ListKit pitch of getting to the inbox, I think that was the biggest thing that we wanted. And we didn't want to get any spam reports or, have our whole server go down for not being able to send emails. So that's kind of what really piqued our interest with ListKit.
Awesome, man. So, you guys being in business for 40 years, I'm sure you've tried other forms of marketing. Like, what is it about cold email that works really well for you guys? Or like, why does cold email work in general? Because let's break down the first barrier. If someone's watching this, the first concern or question or limiting belief they have is cold email doesn't work anymore. Maybe it worked when you guys first started 40 years ago, but does it really still work today? Like, what would you say to that?
There's a guy on YouTube and Facebook. He's pretty big in the marketing world. His name's Ty Lopez.
Yeah.
And if you buy any of his courses, he'll tell you that email marketing is how he's grown his business. He uses those other channels like Facebook, Instagram to gather people's emails. And you want that big pool of database so you're able to cast a wide net. And so really that's what it comes down to with us is, number one, if you work it and you work it properly, it works for you. Most people don't go through something consistently enough to see the results or tweak it consistently enough to get the results that they need. Meaning they'll just give up on the campaign within the first couple months, but you always have to be tweaking it and modifying it. So when it comes to cold email, it's really about how wide of a net can I cast and how many people can I get under that umbrella and position my brand in front of on a continual basis. And what can I get them to do to click? How can I get them to open the email and actually engage and not just glance over it? So I think that's the biggest thing is having a giant database and you're staying in front of them. And we're all in sales. We've all heard that most sales are made on the 7th through 12th contact. When you're able to have that, even if people aren't reading the email, they are seeing your branding show up. They're seeing your information. They're reading the taglines, and they'll go and search, and they'll see it. And so it also goes back to the dominoes philosophy. When if you look back in the day, every time you'd go get your mail, there'd be a Domino's coupon. Most of the time, 10, 20 times you're throwing it away. But now you're programming the subconscious mind to think, next time I think pizza, well, I've seen this Domino's ad 20 times. Maybe it's in my mailbox now. And hey, what do you know? They have a coupon here. So I'm going to end up buying it. And that's kind of the same with the email is, hey, we're just constantly staying in front of this large group of people. And we're actually able to funnel the hottest leads to the top of the funnel. And what we've noticed with ListKit is those hottest leads are raising their hands right away with the call to actions that we have in our campaign.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's so good, Josh. And you guys have been in business for 40 years, so you can obviously speak to like the fact that things take time and to win in the long run, you have to have patience, right? We've seen a lot of our customers that are newer to business that will try cold email for a month or two. And when they don't see the results they were expecting, they leave. And every time they do that, it resets the cycle. It's just going to take them another 2 months to get to exactly where they were before. And then from there, maybe even another 2 months to start seeing results. So the people or the clients specifically that wait longer for the entire system to play out over time and for multiple touch points to go out start to reap the rewards. But you have to have the patience to stick to the strategy for multiple months. And when you do, you'll start to see big wins, every now and then compared to in the beginning. And like you said, with ListKit's system, what it really does is it casts a wide net. We have a list of over 500 million B2B business emails in our database that you can search from. You can get super targeted to exactly the types of decision makers and business people that you want to send emails to. And then from there, we have obviously the messaging we work with you on to pitch your offer and really only get people to raise their hands that are truly interested in what you're doing. And just looking at your campaign stats, I know in just the most recent campaign, we've sent just under 7,000 emails so far. So we still have a long way to go. I think you're on the 15,000 emails per month plan, which was $500 a month at the time. And you've already gotten 14 people to raise their hand and say that they're interested. And so what does that actually look like in a business sense? Like, what's the value of 14 people raising their hands to your cold emails and saying that they're interested in what you guys do?
I mean, at the end of the day, you look at business, it's a relationship business, right? So the very first email we got, and I was really shocked, like this is true pure results from it. And mind you, our average ticket price is 500. The very first email that we got from our ListKit campaign, I hit refresh on the screen and the guy said, "Hey, I just ordered an inspection." And I went and looked it up and it was a $1,300 inspection. They had ordered almost every single service that we offer. So now, like, we're not just going to get that one. We have to do a good job for that one client. And now that agent is now in our book of business. And what's the lifetime value of that client? Especially if they're already positioning their clients to order the maximum dollar ticket that we have in the company. So, we're doing combinations. So on those 14 leads, we're actually physically sending people out to go and try to meet with them one-on-one and continue to cultivate those relationships.
That's amazing. Yeah, it doesn't just stop with a cold email, right? Like the new wave is omni-channel and multi-touch. And so with ListKit, you also get their LinkedIn profile. For a lot of the leads, you get their mobile number. And so once you get a positive or an interested lead, you can continue to work that lead by not only sending them more emails, but picking up the phone and calling them or sending them a connection request on LinkedIn. Or we even have addresses and office locations. So you could send, like you said, your reps out to the actual physical locations, which is super cool. And yeah, I really love like your perspective on this because it is the mindset that is needed to have success with cold email. You have to play the long game, you have to have patience, but you also have to be willing to do the work to drive the leads all the way to the finish line. Because I think a lot of people think cold email, it's automated, you set it up, you kind of forget about it, you go and do other things. But there's real work involved in sales and marketing. Regardless of what you're doing with sales and marketing, there's going to need to be some lift, some personalization, some additional touch points to bring a lead all the way home, especially in a competitive landscape. And I'm sure you've seen that, being in business for 40 years, like things get more competitive, things get more complex, but sticking to the basics of keeping a lead gen system like cold email going for you guys consistently, I'm sure that's helped keep things at a foundational level consistent and reliable as well, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
So one of the big selling points too for ListKit, it's like, hey, like cold email, especially nowadays, it's difficult to set up. It takes a long time. It's very technical too. Like if you're not an expert with like domains and DNS settings and just how to use all these different software tools that are required to get around some of the changes and roadblocks Google and Outlook and other inboxes have set up to make cold email more difficult. But if you're not set up properly and you don't have the time to set it up, or you just don't know, you don't have the know-how to do the technical setup the right way, it's really hard to deliver to the inbox. It's really hard to get results. So what has it been working with ListKit? Like, what's your experience been like working with the team, going through the onboarding process, and having more of a hands-off approach with all of that?
Well, I know from firsthand experience, we worked on our own mass email campaign for about 6 months, and we were only adding, a couple hundred emails a month to it. And we started to get some decent traction on sends, and then we added another 1,000, and boom, the whole thing shut down. So basically 6 months of momentum was killed with that one domain being shut down. So I really like the fact that there's this multiple domain strategy that's implied by ListKit, and it really is. You guys walk us through step by step. Here's what you need to do, and then you guys are doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So basically, all I had to do was approve things, which was really nice. Is just sit back and approve things, and it's been really a very simple process compared to doing it all alone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's kind of our goal with the onboarding process, is to make it super simple and seamless for you guys, and to walk you through a process that we use to grow our own business so that we know that it works, right? You have to get more strategic with your cold email system and strategy these days. And for you, you're not in the business of being a cold email expert, right? You're in the business of being in the home inspection business, and you don't want to have to spend half your day learning cold email and going through technical support articles and help docs just to get this damn thing set up. And not just set up, but the maintenance of it and the risk of a domain burning and your entire system coming crashing down and not knowing how to replace it and losing access to that consistent lead flow. Those are all problems our clients experienced before signing up for ListKit. So it's great to hear that you've experienced some of those key selling points and upsides. And yeah, man, I'm honestly just excited to have you as a client, and to continue to hear about how our system is generating you guys new business leads on a monthly basis.
Yeah, we're definitely excited to continue to see the results that come from it, and to continue to tweak it and maximize it as time goes on.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, thank you so much for the time. Again, I think the biggest takeaway here is that cold email still works. You have to have the patience, though, like with any sales and marketing process in general, for the touch points to really set in, right? Like you talked about Ty Lopez, he does cold email as part of his strategy after bringing in a big pool of leads. Domino's a strategy of just like the frequency in which your customer or potential prospect sees your business, and what that does to someone when they are then ready to make a buying decision. Because I always say this with cold email too. Everyone likes to focus on like targeting and messaging. I think those are incredibly important. You have to be reaching out to the right people, and you have to send them a message that's relevant and interesting to them. But the one factor no one talks about is timing. And it's like you might send the perfect message to the perfect prospect, but they were out of office, or they were at a wedding, or they were on a flight, or they were taking care of an internal situation that was high priority, or they were tight on budget because they just reviewed the month-end financials and they were in a mindset of just cut expenses rather than look for new expansion products. So if you're not consistently following up, the same way with the Domino's story, maybe you're not in the mood for pizza, but on that 20th time where you're thinking about pizza, Domino's is there, and they're now your first. They're the option you go to first as a result. And it's the same thing with whatever you're selling, whether it's pizza, which is a great product, by the way, or home inspections, which I'm sure is a great product. Maybe not as good as pizza, but I'm sure it's a great product. So oh man, awesome, man. I can tell you have a wealth of experience in just business knowledge in general. So I wish we could keep you on longer, but I want to be respectful of your time and just say thank you for sharing your experience. And as a last step, where can our audience find you and follow you online and learn more about your guys' business and how you might be able to help them?
Well, yep. My Instagram is Josh Elite Group. So you can feel free to follow me, send me a message. I'm pretty open. I've been marketing for 15 years for the company, and we've doubled it twice. So I've got a lot of behind the scenes experience of scaling this company in particular, and also helping other service businesses scale their company. And then our website is eliteinspections.com for anybody that's in Southern California. And you can go and check us out there if you're ever in need of any of our services. And you could actually hit me up directly. All my info is on there, and I'll hook you up if you say you saw this webinar.
Awesome. Hey, thanks, Josh, so much. Keep crushing it. If there's anything else we can do to help, let us know. But thanks, everyone else, for watching. If you guys are interested in ListKit's done for you cold email setup offer, you could just go to start.listkit.com ListKit.io, and there's a video on that page with all the information. But we'll see you back here next time. Happy prospecting.